You ever notice how feeling lost never hits you when you're busy? Not when you're rushing, scrolling, working, or distracting yourself with 100 little tasks. It hits when life gets quiet. When the noise fades and there's nothing left between you and the truth you've been avoiding. That heavy, restless feeling inside you isn't a flaw. It's feedback. A Stoic would say it's the moment your inner compass starts screaming that you've been living according to expectations that were never yours. Most men don't feel lost because they lack direction. They feel lost because they've been following a direction that doesn't belong to them. You can be productive, disciplined, even successful, and still feel completely disconnected from your own life. Because movement alone doesn't create meaning. Alignment does. A man can sprint full speed toward a life that slowly destroys him. And society will clap for him while he does it. Feeling lost is simply the moment you finally stop clapping along. There are forces inside you that you've ignored for too long. And once they wake up, they refuse to be quiet again. One of them is the identity you're still borrowing from other people. Old expectations from family. Opinions from friends. Judgment from people who don't even think about you anymore. You've spent so much time adjusting yourself to fit roles that were handed to you that you forgot to question if those roles ever felt right in the first place. A Stoic would say you're carrying the weight of ghosts. And when your sense of self depends on reactions from others, you will always feel lost, because nothing external stays stable. You end up chasing approval, chasing status, chasing certainty that never arrives. You drift because the anchor was never inside you. Feeling lost is the moment your mind admits it no longer recognizes the person you've been pretending to be. Another force behind this confusion comes from ignoring your own values. Values aren't motivational lines you put on a wall. They are promises you quietly make to yourself. When your behavior repeatedly violates those promises, something inside you breaks. You feel lost not because you don't know the way, but because you abandon the path you knew was right. You know when you're wasting time. You know when you're staying somewhere you don't belong. You know when you're shrinking to make others feel comfortable. You know when you're living below your own potential. You're not confused. You're avoiding the consequences of honesty. Every man carries two versions of himself, the one he is, and the one he knows he could be. The gap between them is where the feeling of being lost grows. Potential feels good because it allows you to imagine a future without having to earn it. But the Stoics warn that potential without discipline turns into poison. It convinces you you're meant for something greater while keeping you exactly where you are. The moment you stop moving toward the man you could become, your mind starts to fall apart. Not dramatically. Quietly. Slowly. Like erosion. You don't need more clarity before taking action. Clarity is created by action. Purpose doesn't guide you first. It reveals itself after you move. And eventually, a question emerges in the back of your mind. Not as a title, not as a lesson, but as a discomfort you can't ignore. How do you stop feeling this way? The answer doesn't come as a neat formula. It arrives as a series of confrontations with yourself. One of those confrontations is realizing how much you numb your own mind. Distractions, cheap comforts, endless dopamine loops, they keep you unconscious. As long as your attention is hijacked, you can't hear your inner direction. Silence scares you because silence exposes truth. But silence is the doorway out of confusion. Then comes the moment when your actions finally need to match your values. Not when you feel motivated. Not when life becomes easier. Now. The fog begins to lift the second you stop behaving in ways that contradict who you know you're supposed to be. After that, something deeper steps in. A man has to start making choices that his strongest self would approve of. Not heroic choices. Simple, consistent ones. The kind no one sees, but that slowly rebuild your self-respect. And then there is the truth most men never say out loud: you're not lost. You're transitioning. You're outgrowing an old identity, one that was safe, predictable, familiar. But too small for who you're becoming. You haven't fully stepped into the new version yet, so you hover in the in-between. It feels like drifting, but it's actually transformation. It feels like confusion, but it's actually evolution without guidance. Every time your old life becomes too tight for your new mind, the sensation is the same: restlessness, disconnection, a sense that nothing fits anymore. That isn't failure. It's expansion. You feel lost because your soul has outgrown the life your habits are still clinging to. And this is where the deepest Stoic truth hits. You don't need a map. You need courage. Courage to let go of what has already ended. Courage to stop waiting for permission. Courage to choose yourself even when it disrupts the version of you other people prefer. Feeling lost isn't a sign that something is wrong with you. It's a sign that you're finally waking up. You're noticing what no longer feels right. You're noticing what no longer deserves your time. You're noticing the gap between the man you are and the man you could be. And the moment you start closing that gap, even by one small action, the fog doesn't just lift. It obeys you. Because a man who chooses his own path doesn't stay lost for long. He becomes someone others look to for direction. Not because he has all the answers, but because he finally stopped running from himself.